Welcome back to NT Coins World. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one-penny coins, focusing on two incredibly valuable pieces, the 1917 and 1946 one-penny coins. Each of these coins has its own unique history, valuable varieties, and an intriguing connection to the past that makes them highly sought after by collectors. We'll explore the mintage, notable errors, the impact of their historical context, and, of course, the high value these coins can fetch today. So grab a seat and let's take a journey into numismatic history. The 1917 British one-penny coin is an iconic piece from the early 20th century, and despite being over a century old, it continues to hold significant value for collectors. The obverse of the coin features the effigy of King George V, who reigned over the United Kingdom from 1910 to 1936. His portrait was designed by the renowned engraver Bertram McKennell, and it reflects the dignity and royal tradition of the time. King George V's reign saw some of the most dramatic changes in British history, including World War I and significant social reforms. The reverse of the 1917 one-penny coin shows a seated Britannia holding a trident and a shield, flanked by the date and the inscription "1 penny." This design was created by the famous engraver Leonard Wyon. What makes the 1917 penny so special? Well, there are a few key factors that elevate its value. First, the mintage figures for the 1917 one-penny coin are particularly notable. In total, 72 million of these coins were struck, which isn't considered a low mintage for the time. However, what sets this coin apart is its relative scarcity in good condition. Coins from the early 1900s were circulated heavily, and many of them were worn down over the years. Fine condition means that this coin retains a substantial amount of detail, particularly on Britannia's figure and the text around the coin. In fine condition, a 1917 one-penny can command anywhere from $10 to $30, but this price can skyrocket depending on the coin's specific features and rarity. One key factor that makes the 1917 penny even more intriguing is its historical context. The year 1917 was one of the most tumultuous years of the 20th century, marked by World War I, which was entering its third year. The coin's design, with Britannia firmly seated and holding her shield, symbolized the strength and resilience of the British people during such challenging times. Additionally, 1917 was also the year that the United States entered World War I, changing the dynamics of global power forever. The rarity and desirability of the 1917 penny are also amplified by the presence of several important varieties and errors that collectors seek. One of the most famous varieties of the 1917 penny is the Wide 7 variety. This variety, distinguished by a slightly different positioning of the number 7 in the date, is far rarer than the regular issue and can be worth significantly more in fine condition. Collectors of one-penny coins will eagerly search for this variety, as it can increase the coin's market value to around $50 to $70 or more, depending on its overall quality and condition. Another factor to consider is that coins in fine condition, such as the one we are discussing, hold significant value because they were kept in better shape than those that circulated more frequently. Coins in excellent or uncirculated condition can fetch prices between $100 and $500, with rarer varieties of the coin pushing this estimate higher. When it comes to buying or selling a 1917 penny in fine condition, it's important to have it properly assessed by a professional. Coins with historical significance like this one can often see their value fluctuate based on demand, market trends, and collector interest. Now let's move on to another fascinating one-penny coin with an intriguing history, the 1946 one-penny coin. After the events of World War II, Britain was recovering from the devastating effects of the war. This period of recovery is reflected in the design and condition of the 1946 penny, and it marks an interesting shift in Britain's history. So let's explore why this coin, despite being produced just a few decades after the 1917 penny, holds its own unique place in the world of coin collecting. The 1946 British one-penny coin was struck in the aftermath of World War II, a time when Britain, like much of the world, was beginning to rebuild. The coin features the same iconic portrait of King George VI as seen on the earlier pre-war pennies. King George VI's effigy, created by engraver Thomas Humphrey Paget, portrays the king in his regal and composed style, symbolizing the stability and continuity the British monarchy provided during the war years. On the reverse, we see a traditional design of a penny with a stylized image of a single rose, which was part of a theme of floral representations on British coins. The 1946 penny is distinct from the earlier 1917 penny in several ways. Firstly, it is part of the post-war era, which saw a shift in design aesthetics and minting practices. The wartime era had led to shortages of metals, and many coins were made with a reduced weight or alternative alloys. But by 1946, Britain was re-establishing its regular coinage standards. The mintage of the 1946 one-penny coin is significant because over 267 million coins were produced that year. This makes it a common coin in terms of its overall availability, but much like the 1917 penny, finding one in fine condition can be quite rare. Coins from this era were circulated heavily, and many were damaged or worn down by frequent use. However, the 1946 penny in fine condition retains a decent level of detail and clarity, with the rose design on the reverse still visible, and the portrait of King George VI distinct. In terms of value, a 1946 penny in fine condition can generally fetch anywhere from $10 to $20, depending on market conditions. However, certain varieties and features can drive up the value significantly. For example, a 1946 penny with a noticeable error, or a strong example of the rose design, can see its price soar into the $50 to $100 range or more, particularly if it has been preserved in exceptional condition for its age. The historical context of the 1946 penny adds a layer of richness to its value. After World War II, Britain faced an economy in shambles, with rationing, high inflation, and widespread rebuilding efforts. Coins like the 1946 penny reflected the resilience of the British people, and the design of the rose on the reverse was symbolic of this recovery. The rose, a national symbol, represented not only the beauty of the country, but also its renewal after years of hardship. Collectors value the 1946 penny for several reasons, but one major factor is the potential for error coins to surface from the large mintage numbers. Some 1946 pennies were struck with a variety of minting errors, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These varieties are particularly valuable, and depending on the nature of the error, the value of such a coin could range from $50 to $500 or more, especially if it's graded in fine or better condition. Both the 1917 and 1946 one-penny coins hold incredible historical significance and valuable collector appeal. From the mintage numbers and the scarcity of coins in fine condition to the unique errors and varieties, each of these coins tells a compelling story of the times in which they were created. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into the world of numismatics, these two pennies offer fascinating insights into Britain's history and the art of coinage. If you find yourself holding either of these coins in your collection, you might just have a valuable treasure on your hands, potentially worth anywhere from $10 to $70 or even more, depending on its specific features. Thank you for tuning in to NT Coins World. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin-related content. Let me know in the comments if you have either of these pennies in your collection or if you're planning on hunting them down. Until next time, keep collecting and stay curious. This has been another episode of NT Coins World. If you enjoyed this deep dive into these two valuable one-penny coins, be sure to check out our other videos on rare and valuable coins from around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.